What if you could be happier right now without making drastic changes to your life? What if the key to a more joyful existence isn't about chasing a distant, idealized future, but about finding more happiness in your everyday life? The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. Summary of key ideas. Introduction. Most of us walk through life assuming that happiness is something that happens to us. We wait for a promotion, a new relationship, or a dream vacation, believing that external events hold the key to our contentment. But what if we've been looking in the wrong place? Gretchen Rubin's The Happiness Project turns this idea on its head. It's not about waiting for happiness, it's about actively creating it. Rubin, a self-described ordinary person with a good life, realized she wasn't as happy as she could be. Instead of making a radical change, she dedicated a year to a happiness project, a systematic effort to be happier in her existing life. This book is the story of that year, a month-by-month journey to test drive the wisdom of the ages, current scientific research, and lessons from popular culture about how to live a happier life. Who this book is for. This book is for anyone who feels like they're stuck in a rut and wants to find more joy and meaning in their everyday life without turning their world upside down. It's for the person who has a good life on paper, but still feels like something is missing. If you're a fan of practical, actionable advice, and you're willing to put in the effort to create your own happiness, this book is for you. About Gretchen Rubin. Gretchen Rubin is one of today's most influential observers of happiness and human nature. A graduate of Yale and Yale Law School, where she was editor-in-chief of the Yale Law Journal, Rubin started her career in law and was clerking for Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor when she realized she wanted to be a writer. She's the author of several New York Times bestsellers, including The Happiness Project, Happier at Home, and The Four Tendencies. She hosts the popular, award-winning podcast Happier with Gretchen Rubin. The 12-month Happiness Project. Story Shot 1, January. How can you boost your energy and vitality? Rubin's Happiness Project began in January with a focus on a fundamental truth. You can't be happy if you're exhausted. Physical vitality is the foundation of emotional well-being. When you're constantly tired, small challenges feel overwhelming and joy becomes distant. Rubin dedicated her first month to boosting her energy, not with a miracle cure, but by focusing on the fundamentals. She realized that to feel more energetic, she had to act like an energetic person. This meant going to bed earlier, exercising more consistently, and tackling small, energy-draining tasks that had been piling up. As Rubin discovered, the days are long, but the years are short. By investing in her physical well-being, she created a positive upward spiral of energy and positivity. Try this. Identify one small, nagging task you've been procrastinating on and do it first thing tomorrow morning. Story Shot 2, February. How can you cultivate more love and affection? In February, Rubin turned her attention to her marriage with the theme, Remember Love. It's a strange paradox of long-term relationships. The people we love most are often the ones we treat with the least kindness. The problem isn't a lack of love, but a lack of mindful action. Rubin realized she couldn't change her husband, but she could change her own actions. The solution wasn't grand romantic gestures, but small, consistent acts of kindness. She stopped nagging, gave more compliments, and greeted him warmly. It's about recognizing that what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. By acting more loving, she inspired more loving behavior in her husband. Try this. For the next week, give your partner a warm greeting every time you see them, without expecting anything in return. Story Shot 3, March. Why is aiming higher at work a source of happiness? With her energy and relationships on a better footing, Rubin dedicated March to her work with the theme Aim Higher. Many of us see work as a necessary evil, a mindset that condemns us to spend a huge portion of our lives in quiet desperation. Rubin realized that happiness at work isn't about finding the perfect job. It's about finding challenge and growth in the job you have. The solution is to embrace ambition and novelty. She started a blog to share her happiness project journey, a decision that was both terrifying and exhilarating. It's about understanding that enthusiasm is more important than innate ability. By aiming higher, she made her daily life more exciting. Try this. Identify one small way you can add a new challenge or novelty to your work this week. Story Shot 4, April. How can you lighten up your parenting? April's focus was on parenting with the theme, Lighten Up. Parenting is a pressure cooker of love and anxiety. We want so badly to do a good job that we often become rigid and overly serious. The problem is, this constant tension is contagious. Rubin realized her own mood had a profound impact on the family's atmosphere. The solution wasn't to abandon rules and routines, but to bring more playfulness and laughter into their daily lives. She created a family jokes list and embraced the idea that the things that go wrong often make the best memories. Instead of striving for a perfect family life, she started to appreciate the messy, chaotic, and often hilarious reality. The result was a more relaxed and joyful home, where she discovered that laughter is more than just a pleasurable activity. When people laugh together, they tend to talk and touch more. Try this. The next time your child is having a minor meltdown, instead of getting frustrated, try a silly dance or a funny face. Story Shot 5, May. Why should you be serious about play? In May, Rubin tackled the often neglected area of leisure with the theme, Be Serious About Play. As adults, we often dismiss play as a childish indulgence. The problem is, a life without play is a life without a crucial source of joy and creativity. Rubin recognized that leisure isn't a luxury. It's a vital component of a happy life. The solution was to actively cultivate a spirit of playfulness and to make time for activities that brought her joy without any expectation of a productive outcome. She started a book club not to become a better reader, but simply to share her love of books with friends. By taking her fun seriously, she found she had more energy and enthusiasm for everything else. Try this. Make a list of 5 things you loved to do as a child. Pick one and do it this week. Story Shot 6, June. How can you make time for friends? June was dedicated to friendship with the theme, Make Time for Friends. Friendship is one of the most reliable sources of happiness, yet it's often the first thing to go when life gets busy. When we let our friendships wither, we lose a vital support system. Rubin realized that friendship isn't something that just happens. It's something you have to actively cultivate. The solution wasn't to become a social butterfly overnight, but to make small, consistent efforts to connect with the people who mattered to her. She started a book club and made a point of scheduling regular lunches with friends. She became a friendship architect, taking the initiative to organize gatherings and make plans. The result was a richer, more connected social life. Try this. Reach out to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while and schedule a phone call or a coffee date for this week. Story Shot 7, July. How can you buy some happiness? In July, Rubin explored the complex relationship between money and happiness with the theme, Buy Some Happiness. We're told money can't buy happiness, yet financial insecurity is a major source of stress. The problem isn't money itself, but how we use it. Rubin realized that while money can't buy happiness directly, it can be used as a tool to create a happier life. The solution is to spend money strategically on things that align with your values and contribute to your well-being. This means investing in experiences, relationships, and personal growth. As Rubin wisely notes, money, it's a good servant but a bad master. She learned that using money to save time or to indulge a passion could be a worthwhile investment in her happiness. Try this. Identify one small recurring expense that doesn't bring you joy and cut it out. Then redirect that money towards something that does. Story Shot 8. August. Why should you contemplate the heavens? August was a month for reflection and perspective, with the theme, Contemplate the Heavens. In our day-to-day lives, it's easy to get caught up in the small stuff. We lose perspective and forget that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. This wasn't about becoming a philosopher. It was about cultivating a sense of awe and wonder. The solution is to regularly connect with something larger than yourself, whether it's nature, art, or a spiritual practice. For Rubin, this meant reading biographies, visiting art museums, and starting a gratitude journal. This perspective helps to put our daily struggles in their proper context. By contemplating the heavens, she didn't escape her problems, but she saw them in a new light. Try this. Tonight, before you go to bed, step outside and look at the stars for a few minutes. Story Shot 9. September. Why should you pursue a passion? In September, Rubin focused on reigniting a personal passion with the theme, Pursue a Passion. We often treat our passions as luxuries, things we'll get to, someday. The problem is, someday rarely comes, leading to a life that feels productive, but lacks a certain spark. Rubin realized that having a passion is a key ingredient in a happy life. The solution is to make time for the things you love, even if they have no practical purpose. For Rubin, this meant indulging her lifelong love of books by starting a children's literature reading group. She gave herself permission to enjoy her passion without guilt, discovering the joy of flow, a state of complete absorption in an activity that is both challenging and enjoyable. Try this. Identify one activity you've always been passionate about but have neglected. Schedule 30 minutes this week to do it, just for fun. Story Shot 10. October. How can you pay more attention? October's theme was Pay Attention, a month dedicated to mindfulness and being present. We live in an age of distraction, and this chronic lack of focus robs us of the present moment. We're so busy documenting our lives that we forget to actually live them. Rubin realized that mindfulness is simply the practice of noticing what's happening, as it's happening. The solution is to create small rituals that bring you back to the present moment. For Rubin, this meant keeping a food journal or trying laughter yoga. She learned that if I can enjoy the present, I don't need to count on the happiness that is, or isn't, waiting for me in the future. By being more present, she found her everyday life became richer and more vibrant. Try this. The next time you have a meal, put away your phone and all other distractions. Focus on the taste, texture, and smell of your food. Story Shot 11. November, how can you keep a contented heart? In November, Rubin tackled the brain's inherent negativity bias with the theme, Keep a Contented Heart. Our brains are wired for negativity, constantly scanning for threats and dwelling on mistakes. This is a major source of unhappiness. Rubin realized that happiness isn't about having a perfect life. It's about appreciating the life you have. The solution is to actively cultivate a more positive and grateful attitude. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but consciously shifting your focus to the good things. As Rubin discovered, it's more selfless to act happy. She started a gratitude journal and made an effort to complain less. The result was a profound shift in her outlook on life. She learned that you are happy if you think you're happy. Try this. For the next 24 hours, make a conscious effort not to complain about anything. Story Shot 12. December. How do you make happiness a habit? Rubin's final month, December, was about making her newfound happiness a lasting habit, with the theme, Boot Camp Perfect. A year-long project is a great way to jumpstart change. But what happens when the year is over? The challenge isn't just to get happy, but to stay happy. The solution is to recognize that there is no finish line. Happiness is not a destination, but a direction. It's about embracing the idea that sometimes I succeed, sometimes I fail, but every day is a clean slate and a fresh opportunity. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. She reviewed her resolutions and created a simplified chart with a few key habits to focus on, integrating the project's most important lessons into her daily life. Try this. Look back at the try this tips from the previous 11 months. Pick the one that resonates with you the most and commit to practicing it for the next 30 days. Mental models from the Happiness Project. The Happiness Project is built on several powerful mental models that can be applied to any self-improvement goal. The 4 Tendencies Framework. Discover which of the 4 tendencies you are: upholder, questioner, obliger, or rebel. Understanding your tendency is key to designing a happiness project that works for you. The 1-minute rule. If a task takes less than 1 minute to complete, do it immediately. This simple rule prevents the accumulation of small, energy-draining tasks and creates a sense of order and accomplishment. The strategy of scheduling. To make time for important but not urgent activities, like pursuing a passion or seeing friends, schedule them. Putting something on the calendar transforms it from a vague intention into a concrete commitment. Secrets of Adulthood from the Happiness Project. 5 powerful wisdom nuggets from Gretchen Rubin that will transform how you think about happiness in daily life. Implementation Guide. Today, 5 minutes. Complete one small nagging task that's been weighing on your mind. This week, 15 minutes. Choose one life area and identify 2 to 3 small changes you could make. Ongoing practice. Pick one. Try this tip and practice it for 30 days. Final summary and review. The Happiness Project is a testament to the power of intentionality. Gretchen Rubin's core message is that happiness isn't a passive state, but an active pursuit requiring effort, self-knowledge, and consistent practice. By breaking the task of being happier into manageable, month-long experiments, she makes the journey feel accessible and inspiring. The book's true strength lies in its relatability. Rubin isn't a guru, but a regular person navigating work, marriage, and parenthood. She demonstrates that you don't need to overhaul your life to find more joy. You just need to make small, deliberate changes. While filled with practical wisdom, the highly structured, checklist-driven method could feel rigid for some. The book is also rooted in the perspective of a well-educated, financially stable woman. Readers facing significant life challenges might find the focus on first-world problems unrelatable. Despite this, the central premise, that we can all take small steps to increase our own happiness, remains a valuable and empowering message. Still have questions? Here are some of the most common questions people have about the Happiness Project. Related book summaries. If you enjoyed this summary of the Happiness Project, you might also like the following on Story Shots. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. You've learned the importance of habits, but how do they actually work? This book dives into the science of habit formation and how to change them for good. Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. If you're ready to take on bigger challenges, you'll need to embrace vulnerability. Brown's work will show you how. 10% Happier by Dan Harris. Still skeptical about all this happiness stuff? So is Dan Harris. This book is a hilarious and relatable journey from news anchor to meditation advocate. Happier at Home by Gretchen Rubin. Now that you've tackled your own happiness, what about your home? Rubin's follow-up applies the same project-based approach to creating a happier home environment. What is your biggest obstacle to happiness? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of Gretchen Rubin's monthly themes resonates with you the most? Let us know. Bonus Q&A. Is striving to be happy selfish? No. Happy people are more optimistic, outgoing, and kind, and are a source of positive energy for those around them. Do you need big changes to be happier? Small, consistent actions have a much greater impact on happiness than grand changes. What's the most important first step? Self-knowledge. Identify what truly brings you joy.